Hi, let's create a multi-signature account on 0bsnetwork. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, primarily for security reasons, because like on any other blockchain platform, your account, your wallet is controlled by your private key, which is represented by the seed phrase on 0bsnetwork. And if you lose access to your private key, your account is irretrievably gone. Also, if anybody gains access to your private key who is not authorized to have it, your account is irretrievably compromised and you can't get it back. So it's always a good idea, especially if you've created a, so to say, corporate account from which you will, for example, create your startup's new token or do any other business related blockchain activity. It's a very good idea to have several people, let's say 3 or 5, from which 2 or 3 have to co-sign each and every individual transaction before it can be processed, before it's allowed to execute on the blockchain. So what you'll need for this is actually your main account, your, so to say, I'll call it the corporate or main account. And you will also need several accounts controlled by separate individual people who will have the authority to co-sign transactions. Today I'll demonstrate a 2 out of 3 multi-signature setup, which means that for any transaction, at least 2 out of 3 people have to sign the transaction for it to be allowed. So I also have created 3 signing accounts: signing account 1, signing account 2, and signing account 3. And this order is really important. Unfortunately, for now, this multi-signature creation and usage is not incredibly user-friendly. We will work on that in the coming weeks and months. So for now, the order of signing of transactions has to be kept in the same order every single time. What we will also use for this is the 0bsnetwork IDE, which is available at ide.0bsnetwork.com. And it has a very convenient tool, which is the multi-signature account wizard, which will help us create this setup. But before we can start, we actually need to allow or enable advanced features in each of these accounts or wallets. You do that by going to the settings here in the lower left corner and clicking here to enable advanced features. What that will do is in the security tab it will add this set script feature, and on the main screen it will add this JSON button here, both of which are important and will be needed for our setup. So now that we have, you need to enable that on each of these accounts. So now that we have it all preconditions fulfilled, let's go to id.0bsnetwork.com, click on Tools, and on the Multi-Signature Account Wizard. This is a really easy to use wizard. Basically, what you're doing here is saying how many people are going to be able to co-sign the transactions, and how many of them are required to co-sign each individual transaction. So in this case, I'm creating a 2 out of 3 setup, which means that 2 people are always required to co-sign each and every transaction, and I need to enter their public keys into these fields here. Again, it's really important to do this in exact same order, so always in the same order. So I'll start with my multi-signature account 1, or signing account 1, go to security tab, copy the public key here. So not the private key, I'm actually copying the public key into the IDE. So having in mind that I'm using public keys, this is in no way a security sensitive operation. So simply don't worry about copying and pasting this into a website. Public key is anyway publicly available, so to say. So I've copied and pasted public key from my signing account 1, the public key from my signing account 2, and the public key from my signing account 3. You'll notice that I have not copied and pasted the public key from my main corporate account because it will actually not be able to sign individually any transactions on its own. When I click on next, I'll actually get this script created for me. So what it actually does is basically saying, okay, I'm using public key 1, public key 2, and public key 3, and at least 2 out of these, which is stated here, have to sign each transaction. I'll copy that, close this window, paste this script into the main screen of the IDE, and on the right hand side I will actually get this script, which I can now copy in the base64 format, which I can now copy from here. Go to my main corporate account security tab and click on the set script button. I'll get notified that this is a very sensitive operation because it can lead to loss of access to your account. So do make sure that you know what you're doing and that you're following these instructions precisely. Also, do try this out on the test net first, maybe even several times before you proceed to create your multi-signature setup on the mainnet. And I've pasted the base64 version of the script from my IDE. So the one that I've gotten from here, I've pasted it into my set script field. This is a transaction in itself that costs 10 ZBS coins. I need to sign it and send it. And this is now done. So this account is now a multi-signature or so-called smart account. It has a script attached to it, which once this gets refreshed, you will also see, there you go. It has this little icon added to its avatar to notify you that this is now a smart account. It's no longer a simple account, so some conditions have to be met in order for transactions with this account to be allowed. In this case, it's the multi-signature setup. Okay, so how do we execute transactions? Well, let's try first to send some tokens to one of these other accounts. I'll take this, let's say the signing account 2, I'll take its address, go back to my main account and try to send some coins to it. Pasting the address into the recipient field. Let's say I want to send 4 ZBS coins. If I click continue and send, I will be notified that this transaction is not allowed by the account script. Why it's not allowed? Because it doesn't have this signatures required. Okay, so what can I do instead? Well, I can actually or I need to actually copy the JSON format of this transaction and have it signed by my co-signing accounts. The signature is actually here represented in this proofs field. So this is a JSON format of the transaction saying that I want to send 4 ZBS coins, paying the fee for that to a recipient, and my signature is in the proofs field. So I'll copy this JSON transaction from the main account, go to my signing account 1 and click the JSON button here, which I have enabled by going to General Advanced Features in my settings. Otherwise it's not visible here. So I click on the JSON field or JSON button, and into this field I'm pasting the JSON format of the transaction created by my main account. Now it has this one proof, which is the signature of my main account, which I actually need to delete because it won't do anything. So now I don't have any proofs anymore. I click continue, and now I have this new option of signing this transaction. When I sign it, if I go to the JSON tab, I'll see that it now has a new proof, which is the signature of my first co-signing account. If I try sending it from here, it won't do anything. I need to copy this and go to my second co-signing account and paste it into here. If I continue and sign, look at the JSON format now, it has two proofs. So it has the signature from the first signing account and it has the signature from the second signing account. Now, you actually don't need to necessarily send back and forth the entire JSON format of this transaction to your colleagues if you have a multi-signature setup that you're using together with your colleagues. You can only send the proof, but these proofs are only valid for this one transaction. They can't be used again for any following transaction. What I need to do now is copy it, go back to my main corporate account, paste it into the JSON field with the two proofs or two signatures, click continue, sign and send, and now this transaction is allowed. So if I go to my second account, I believe that's where I actually sent it to. So yeah, I just received 4 ZBS coins from this address, 3 NCI 4, so on and so forth, 3 NCI 4, that's this address. Now, I demonstrated that for the case when the first and the second signatories have actually signed the transaction, but sometimes this person will be on vacation or this person will not be available. Sometimes you want co-signatories 1 and 3 to sign a transaction, or 2 and 3. And that's a little bit complex, unfortunately. Again, not really super user-friendly, but it's definitely doable as well. In any case, what you must not do is have a transaction signed by signee number 3 and then signee number 2, because that won't work. You have to follow the order of signing. So let's create a new transaction. Let's say I want to send some coins to my signing account 3 from my main account. Paste the address. In this case, I want to send, for example, 5.2458 ZBS coins. Click continue. Again, instead of clicking send, I go to the JSON tab, copy that. Let's say in this case I want this to be co-signed by my signatories 2 and 3. So I go to my account 2, paste the JSON in, delete the main account proof as it's not doing anything, sign that, copy the JSON from here, go to my co-signing account 3, paste the JSON in here, continue, sign. If I look at the JSON now, it has two proofs. One is from signing account 2, another one is from signing account 3. If I copy it and paste it as is into my JSON field on my main account, click continue, sign and send, this will inform me that the transaction is not allowed. What went wrong? Well, the main account is actually expecting, or the wallet is expecting to process the signature from signing account 1 first. Now, because I don't have the signature from signing account 1, I have to do a little trick here, which is, so when I go to pasting the JSON format of the transaction with the two signatures from accounts 2 and 3, I actually have to add an empty signature from signing account 1 as well. I do that by simply typing in null under proofs before the signature of signing account 2 and signature of the signing account 3. I add null and a comma, which means the signature from signing account 1 should be here, but it's not present. If I click continue now, sign and send, this transaction is now allowed. And I'll do one more case. Let's say I want to send some coins again to this account from my corporate account. Let's say 12 coins. Again, I need to copy the JSON, but this time I want my signing account 1 and then my signing account 3 to sign this transaction. So again, I will delete the proof generated by the main account, sign this transaction by my signing account 1, copy the JSON from there, go to my signing account 3, paste it in, sign it again, copy the JSON from there, go back to my main account, paste this into the JSON field. Again, now I have proof or signature of my signing account 1 and the signature of my signing account 3, but the signature for my signing account 2 is missing. So I actually have to add in here my null signature. So I have signature 1, signature 2 is null, null, comma, and then signature 3. Continue, sign, and send. And this transaction is on the way. So in a moment, when this is all refreshed, there you go, the 12 ZBS coins are gone. So again, it's not the absolute peak of user friendliness. We will work on that and make it much more user friendly in the coming weeks or months, probably by this fall. But for now, this is, I believe, usable and not too difficult. You can use it either for your private personal account security, where, for example, you keep one account on each of your devices, one on the desktop, one on the notebook or laptop, and one on your phone, and you have to co-sign each transaction from 2 of your devices. Or again, if you're a company where you have several people co-signing, this is a very good way to do this.